All right, let's dive straight into this explainer and explore one of the absolute most astonishing, stranger than fiction stories in all of biology. We're looking at a creature that just completely ignores the basic rules of survival as we know them. I'm talking about the Antarctic icefish. It is literally nature's very own living antifreeze.
Section 1. The Frozen Blood Mystery, a chilling scenario.
To kick things off, I want you to imagine waking up on a brutal winter morning where the temperature outside drops well below -1 degree Celsius. We have to ask ourselves a pretty terrifying question. What actually happens if your blood turns into ice? I know, it's a morbid thought, but we kind of have to ponder this extreme scenario to really appreciate the biological miracle we're about to unpack today. Biologically speaking, as the temperature drops below that critical -1 degree mark, tiny ice crystals begin to form, and they spread rapidly through your veins. Very quickly, the heart just simply stops, and the body turns as hard as ice. Well, for a human, this sequence is grim, it's immediate, and it's completely fatal. That is simply the end of the line, no way around it. But when we contrast our own human fragility with the incredible Antarctic blackfin icefish, the rules of biology completely change. For us, freezing equals death. But for this astonishing fish, a freezing environment isn't an end at all. It's just another winter day. Actually, it's pretty much just a regular Tuesday for them in the freezing depths of the ocean. Section 2. Nature's Living Antifreeze, an evolutionary marvel. So, millions of years ago, Antarctica went through this massive climatic shift, basically becoming one of the absolute coldest places on Earth. And most fish simply couldn't survive this. Their blood literally froze in their veins, forming these sharp ice crystals that absolutely destroyed their cells. But then, evolution stepped in. This specific group of ice fish survived by doing something completely radical. Instead of migrating or changing their environment, they entirely changed the biological makeup of their own blood. And the secret to their survival? Antifreeze proteins. The icefish actively produces these special proteins, which are the exact reason their blood stays perfectly liquid, even when they're swimming in water that is physically colder than the normal freezing point. It's just an ingenious internal defense system designed by nature. But how do they actually work? Well, first, these proteins actively seek out any tiny ice crystals that start to form inside the fish's body. Second, they attach themselves like invisible guards onto the crystals. And third, they physically stop those crystals from growing large enough to cause any cellular damage. It's exactly like having a microscopic, highly trained security team circulating in your veins, totally shutting down the freezing process before it even gets a chance to start. Section 3. The Transparent Blood Anomaly. Defying biological norms. Now get ready for a paradigm-shifting fact that challenges practically everything we know about vertebrate biology. They don't have red blood cells. Think about that for a second. Their blood is almost completely transparent. That means they live entirely without the very cells that give human blood its distinctive red color, the very cells that almost all vertebrates rely on to survive. So how do they pull off this biological magic trick? Well, human blood strictly relies on red blood cells to transport oxygen to our organs, right? But the icefish has a brilliant biological workaround. Because icy water inherently holds much more oxygen than warm water, the icefish can easily absorb and transport enough oxygen directly through its body without needing that red color at all. They essentially turned a harsh, freezing environment into their greatest biological advantage. Section 4. From Ice to Innovation, Biotechnology and Beyond. And this brings us to why this all matters for you and me, right now. Scientists are currently working to transition this bizarre biological quirk into the future of human biotechnology. These aren't just fun biological oddities. There are massive, real-world applications happening in labs today. Scientists are absolutely fascinated by these antifreeze proteins. By studying them, we're unlocking revolutionary ways to preserve donated human organs for much longer periods, protect our frozen foods, dramatically improve the cryopreservation of human cells, and even help essential agricultural crops tolerate extreme cold. Studying this tiny fish in Earth's harshest environment is literally helping us improve global medicine and agriculture. It all really boils down to this quote: "Nature doesn't just adapt, it invents solutions that humans spend decades trying to understand." I mean, that perfectly captures the very essence of the icefish story. It reminds us that nature is a master inventor, flawlessly solving wildly complex survival problems millions of years before humans even realize those problems exist. Which brings us to our final thought for today's explainer. If a tiny, transparent fish swimming in sub-zero Antarctic waters can potentially revolutionize human cryopreservation and organ transplants,
What other greatest innovations are hidden beneath the ice? It leaves us with an incredibly exciting question about what other medical miracles are hiding right now in Earth's most extreme, unexplored environments. Keep that question in your mind next time you think about the frozen edges of our world. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive.